The internet. It was made by people so that they could have a place where information could go, and you could find it no matter where you were. And then we were like, well, what information should we put there? And someone said, academic publications. And then someone else said, sure, but also cats. And another person said, arguments about Doctor Who. And that was how the internet was formed. What was once a homogeneous culture of a certain kind of person became open to other kinds of people. And those first people were like, welcome, here's the kind of people internet people are. Be like that. And the new people were like, actually, no, I can be me on the internet, and I will be an internet person. And then the first people said, okay, but go stay on Facebook then. And the new people were like, Facebook is the internet though, right? And the nerds said, oh God, what have we brought? And so different kinds of people had to share the social space of the internet, a space that was, in many ways, a public commons. Except in all of the legal ways, in which the internet was an amalgamation of 3 or 4 privately held content licensees. But think of it as a public square, they said, except when it comes to anything to do with actual law. And the people were like, okay. And so human nature extended itself into a space it was not built to exist in, and its culture did not have structures to support. But we learned a great many things. Things about ourselves. Things about people who were different from us. Things about giraffe sex. The abyss that we had created and said, well, if this is how it ends, at least there were cats. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And now I would like to bring to the stage video blogger, inventor of 2D glasses, and the author of the new book, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, Hank Green.
It's a book reading. That's what they told me. So I decided that I would read from my book some. But also I just wanted to say thank you for coming out and doing this. This is real weird, and I've just been back in this very small area eating turkey sandwiches, listening to you sing the songs, and thank you for being so passionate about and excited about the things that's about to happen. So. I wrote a book, and you now have a copy. It was necessary to get in. So if you don't have a copy, you can talk to somebody, or you snuck in. Which is, I mean, good on you. So I got, sorry. I'm hearing a tiny bit of feedback, so we're just working on the cutting it. Okay. So I got this book here. I'm going to read a bit from it. I'm going to read a portion of the story where 2 of the main characters are having realizing that like a pretty interesting and weird thing has happened to them, and they're trying to figure out whether they can capture that moment and have it be something that affects their lives for a longer time, maybe is something that they can sort of harness and be a part of their futures. So I'm starting here, page 69. Nice. And so we did what we've been taught to do in school. We built a brand. Branding is something designers think about a lot. You take something like a perfume or a car tire and you ask questions about it that you should not be able to ask. What kind of tuxedo would this car tire wear to the prom? What is this perfume's favorite movie? You try to end up at a place where you understand a product as if it is a person. The reverse of this, where people become brands, should be easy, right? They're already people, end at the beginning. Except that really what you're doing when you brand is a process of simplification. You come to understand the essence of that tire. And so branding a person also benefits dramatically from simplicity. People are complicated, but brands are simple. Marketing is a lot more about thinking than doing. We had to figure out what Carl's brand was, what my brand was, and how those identities would be a part of each other. We had to think realistically about the role I would play. I wasn't going to be president. I wasn't going to be a national security or science expert, but how we defined me would be informed by how we imagined Carl. We decided that Carl represented power and the future and the other. I would represent humanity and weakness and the world before Carl. I would balance Carl. For all of the OMG, this is huge freakouts, I could be a balance. Just a small, unassuming civilian who is handling this new reality fine, so you shouldn't worry too much either. That was an important role that I could fit into. That would be helpful, and that would give us power. We basically just followed the advertising campaign handbook all the way through, but this wasn't about designing a logo or picking fonts and a color scheme. In fact, we hardly did any of that. What we did have after a few hours' work was a plan and 3 different scripts. I'm gonna cough now. I'm fine. Got a little cold.
Oh no!
Oh no. That was just all the people who were at the meet and greet earlier being like, I touched him so many times. They're like, oh no. Why wasn't there a sign? People would later accuse me of being a careful and calculating marketer, using the situation as an opportunity to get rich and famous. I would deny it, saying that it was just a bizarre thing that happened to me. But that was a lie. It was a lie that was part of our careful and calculating marketing strategy. If it looked natural from the outside to you, well then I guess we did a good job. But we were calculating. I liked getting stopped for photos in the airport. I liked getting paid. I liked the attention. And I was worried about it ending. More than worried, honestly. I think deep down, I was terrified. At some point that night, I glimpsed my most probable future. That one day, the most interesting and important thing about me would be something to me. At job interviews and parties, as if I was once something, but not anymore. That's the book reading part. Part where I just eat Doritos. I left those here like 2 hours ago because I was eating Doritos and I forgot about them, and now they're just staring at me being like, you remember what we taste like? And I'm like, I do, I remember that. And they're like, do you want to eat me? And I'm like, I do, but that'd be really inappropriate. And they're like, but how about you salivate? Even though you can't have me, if you could just fill your mouth with saliva, that would be great. And my brain is like, okay, sounds great. I'm on it. I see there's a baby, and there's at least one baby. How old are you, little baby?
5 months.
5 months. Remember when we were all 5 months old and all that we had to be was an age, and people would be like, good job. Those were the days. What's your name, baby?
Rosie.
Rosie. You have a name and an age. I'm dying. I miss my son. That was the biggest doll of all. I didn't have to do anything. I did not have to create. I did not do that. I can tell you that by mass, my son, when he was born, was like more dust than he was me. I thought about that as my son grew up a little bit, and the only thing that he'd ever eaten was breast milk, and I was like, he used to be like this big, and now he's this big, and he's only eaten one thing, and it came out of you. He's only eaten you, and he's way bigger. He's like 2 times as big now. And then I thought that like, in among the breast milk, there was also some dust. And I was like, he's eaten breast milk and maybe some dust. And that is a larger contribution to his body mass than the one item of genetic information. So I did not create him. I did sometimes get up to give him a bottle. It's my main contribution. I also taught him the word butt. So I'm gonna say the word butt, and he says, I say, where's your butt? And he goes, I mean, it's all worth it. What are we doing? So I have a talk to give at this point, which I may have ruined. Because I don't know if I have time for it. Are there any other babies in the audience? There's a kiddo back there. Hi, kiddo. How you doing? I'm Hank. What's your name?
Nina.
Nina. Hi.
She's 2.
She's 2? How old are you, Nina? 2. That's what Warren says. How old are you going to be? And he says, 2. Ugh! Okay, is that all the babies? Okay. That's a very important part of the show. So, when I was in high school, when I first fell in love with the book, I realized, recently how in love with these books I was, looking back at sort of how I interfaced with what would now be known as fandom, because it was 1996, and so the internet was very small, and we didn't have all these lovely structures. I created some fan art in that world and some fan fiction in that world, though I didn't know what to call it. It was the Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars trilogy. Was there a one woo? That's the best. I love the one woo for Stan Robinson. Just getting closer and closer to his hometown as we go on tour, because I realized this as I recently decided that I wanted to know what I knew about this author who was such a tremendous influence on my life and who I thought about a lot in those very formative years. And I wanted to know what I knew about him. So I took down my copy of Red Mars off my bookshelf shelf, and I read the author bio. There's no author photo, so I didn't know what he looked like. And the author bio said that Kim Stanley Robinson was the Hugo Award-winning author of the Mars trilogy, which was also on the cover, so I don't know why that information was there. Then it gave me some other books that he wrote, so that I would buy them, theoretically, which I did. And then it said he lives in Davis, California. So here's Davis, getting closer, and I'm gonna jump right over it. Anybody come from Sacramento? Wow, that's a haul, you guys. Are you just from Sacramento, or did you drive from Sacramento? Oh, okay. Are you gonna sleep here tonight?
This is the nearest stop.
Yeah, I know it's the nearest stop. I'm sorry. Hopefully you can just sleep in Santa Cruz at your friend's house. No, you gotta drive home. Okay, we'll be very safe. Listen to exciting podcasts, not boring ones. Or you can listen to an absolutely remarkable thing. It'll keep you turning those audio pages. So that's what I knew about my favorite author, who I thought about a lot, was that he wrote books and lived in a place. I feel like I knew those two things before the author bio, but if there was any question, I had confirmed that he was a guy who wrote books and lived in a place. And it's sort of amazing to me that now, not that long after that, we are all I have written a book from the exact opposite perspective, where I feel like I created spent the last 12 years creating the most in-depth author bio possible, to the point where I can't have good password security questions anymore. You know about all my pets, you know where I grew up. Everything is public, so I'm just kind of screwed. And also that job, that thing, it was a vocation for me. Being a public person on the internet is something that I see as not 100% good all the time, but as my job and something that I want to do well and carefully, and have that be that thing that I'm making, like the idea of who I am in the mind of the people who I connect with through the internet, like that's a thing, that's like a craft that I didn't really know I was honing, but it turned out I was, that like Kim Stanley Robinson had never had to and has never had to worry about. If I wanted to know more about Kim Stanley Robinson, maybe I could have gone to the library and looked up like an interview that he did with some newspaper somewhere, but probably not in my town. So it would have been probably a bit of a stretch to find absolutely anything about him at all. And he still doesn't have a Twitter, which is, I think, remarkable. I wish he did, because I want to know what he thinks about right now, because he's my guiding, he's like my Jean-Luc Picard, but real. So, I hope he's not here, because that's really embarrassing. So I think about that, and I think like when I was writing this book, I sort of had to know that my most important audience, like the people who already know who I am, were going to be reading it somewhat through the lens, or at least the doorway of me as a person who I've been doing stuff on the internet for a long time. And I could either like try to avoid that as much as I could and like really lean away from it, and in a way that would mean that I would be writing stuff that I didn't know anything about, like do something like magical realism set in Russia in the 40s. That would be my story, and you'd be like, well, that is definitely not the Hank I know. Or I could write what I know about it and lean into it a little bit and play with it and have that be part of the thing that I was doing, and have there be awareness of that on the page, though ideally not in a way that takes you out of the story, and also ideally not in a way that if you don't know who I am, it doesn't affect the story. So I like that, but I also worry about the people who don't like that, who want to make their art, their creation, their very good thing, but not also this other thing, which is creating themselves in the minds of an audience. And I don't think that should be required, though more and more it seems like it is. It seems like we expect it of people. We expect it of ourselves. We expect it from the people in our lives, for them to be actively doing stuff on, like, to sort of keep me in touch with them through, like, the weird new traditions they're creating on Pinterest for their children. They're catching leprechauns now. It's a whole. They interface with the holidays in a completely new way. I don't already have to catch the leprechaun and then they gives you candy, and I'm like, this seems mean. But everybody in my town's doing it now because of Pinterest, and you're doing it on Instagram, and you're doing it on Facebook, and you're doing it on I messed up my words. You know what I mean. And but I think we really expect it of people who create. And I worry about the people who might not be creating and who we might lose, like we might not get their work because they don't want to interface with that system as it exists right now. And I think that sort of depends, like the success of creators really strongly depends on the people who love that, sharing that, and letting people know about it, because like just sort of like letting it sit all on the marketing power of the artist seems like a whole lot to ask when marketing and art are very different things. I can attest as somebody who's tried to do both of those things. And so I think that it does, to some extent, it is a responsibility that falls on us to share the things that we think are wonderful and perfect and fill a hole inside of us. So I want to ask you to do that now. If you could turn to the person next to you, ideally somebody that you might not know, or somebody that you do, if there's nobody else around, and let them know about a thing that you love, they might not know about, and I'm just going to leave the stage while you talk about it. Okay, bye. So I'm going to sit down in this chair now. I hope that you learned about something new and cool and weird. And now I'm going to invite onto the stage my friend Lindsay Ellis. Try to make it a shorter walk for you.
Well, I wore the wrong outfit for these. Hey, boys. So, hi.
Everybody, this is Lindsay. She makes YouTube videos. You're like, I'm always like, basically, whenever there's a piece of media, I'm like, I need Lindsay to tell me what to think about this. And she's always right.
I've never been wrong. That would be on my Wikipedia page if I had one.
That's one of the secrets of being a YouTuber.
Yeah, to never be wrong.
Never be wrong.
Yeah.
People are like, you're wrong about that, and you're like, you're wrong about that.
Well, so Hank wrote a book. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Poster.
So, and I really liked it a lot. And about a month ago, I wrote him this really long email that was one part gushing about the book and one part, oh God, my online job is killing me and I don't know what to do with my life. So,
Sorry. Sorry to you, but also mostly to all the people who are waiting with bated breath for your next video.
Oh.
If I've created any kind of creative
No,
crisis
this
in your life,
is my announcement. I quit.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Goodbye, internet. No.
this is terrible for me.
No, what I wanted to say was, his book really meant a lot to me, which I assume in part is why he invited me to be on the tour. So, or one stop on the tour. So basically, I'm going to ask some questions. Some are going to be mine, most of them are going to be yours. So I get to decide who lives and who dies. I have the power.
I'm terrified.
So the first hard-hitting...
I was so afraid when I sent Lindsay the book. Because like the opinion that she has on media is like always right. And so if she doesn't like the book, I'm gonna be like, well, it's bad.
No, here's the other thing. I find that like a lot of times like my male colleagues will ask me for constructive criticism, but they only ever ask once.
Don't come back a second time.
No, I didn't break them.
Yeah. That's not how construction happens.
I'm really mean. So here's the first hard-hitting investigative journalism question. Why grape jelly?
Why grape jelly? It's not a spoiler yet. If you read the book, you know what that means. If you haven't, it means nothing, and that's okay. But my non-spoilery answer to that question is I find it very useful when I'm writing a story to have things that just can't change. They're like written in pen, and don't need a reason for them. It's just like, that's the way that it's going to be, and I can change the dialogue in the scene, I can change who's there, I can change aspects of a character even, not all characters, but some characters I can be like, oh, I need you, I'm going to have to rewrite a lot of this book, but I need you to be a different person than I thought you were. And whereas some characters I'm like, this is who they are and they can't change, because if I have a story with everything is changeable, then it's terrifying. It's just too many possibilities and it's overwhelming, and the infinite nature of it becomes like it prevents me from being creative. And so I create these things that are in the book that I'm like, that's a thing and it's not changing, and that was one, and it was like just like brain, and then I was like, well, that's a pillar. I don't know why that.
I kind of had a theory. Like,
I love it, and that's great. That's wonderful. I love
spoilers, and he was like, yes, sure.
That's totally it. I love it when people think that I did something I didn't do. I will totally admit that I really worked hard on that symbol, something that you found.
It's ancient Roman. No, I'm kidding. So that was from some Jasmine. If I remember to say people's names, it's woo optional. It's woo-optional. If you're shy, you don't have to woo. This one's from Elise. What made you choose the title?
My editor made me choose it. There was a lot of discussion, and I don't like. Look, like I'm very much a defer to experts kind of person, and my agent, my editor, and my publisher were all like, "This is a good title," and I was like, "I believe you." So that's basically how the title happened. My editor came up with it. It's sort of from the book.
Did you have a working title?
I called it April, May, and New York Carl.
They tell you you majored in science.
I thought that was fine. And John was like, "No, that's not a good book title." And I was like, "I defer to the experts."
I'm always right. I think I concur. That was not a good title.
I mean, everybody says that. I don't understand what people don't like about it, but I don't need to.
There's very like direct anime translation, like very literal. Alright, so in the book, would you like to briefly describe the way the tier system works, the tiers of fame?
Yeah, so there's, April comes up with this system, which is very helpful for me, of the tiers of celebrity. Like tier 1 is basically like some local notoriety, and I can't remember it exactly. Tier 3 is definitely where I am, where like if you die, you'll trend on Twitter. Tier 4 is like when you need infrastructure to like prevent people from coming into your house, and everybody basically knows who you are in your culture, and pretty much everyone has an opinion about you. And then tier 5 is like being a god. So nobody's tier 5 in our current society because we don't really allow for that anymore.
Would you say that like a Gandhi would be a tier 5?
I think that Gandhi is like getting up toward the top of tier 4.
Jesus is tier 5.
Jesus is tier 5.
There's tier 5 because there's 5 people.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
So here's the
I mean,
question.
it's definitely like it was a lot more common back in the day when you could sort of be a god emperor. We don't have god emperors anymore, though some people might like that.
We're getting there. How would you feel about being tier 4 famous? Do you try to stay under that level? Ask Hannah.
Hannah, I would hate being tier 4 famous. I think at tier 4, like the thing that's terrible is that everybody is asked by society to have an opinion about you. Like enough people, like everybody knows who you are. You're rich and famous, like that's good, but like just by virtue of like everyone knowing your name, everybody has a little bit of an idea of who you are in their heads, and that includes, of course, people who have no idea anything about you, but they have an opinion without regard to their ignorance. And I feel that way about lots of people, and especially when I was younger, I had lots of people who I hated despite knowing nothing about them. And I think that we can, like Guy Fieri is my favorite example of this. Like so many people hate Guy Fieri, but if you do a little bit of research, it turns out he seems pretty cool.
It's kind of like that thing where it's like when you build your brand off of being really, really sincere.
Yeah.
It's dorky, and he's really, really sincere about like junk food. So that's kind of an easy target.
And if I look at him, if I just like look at a picture of him, I'm like, that's the guy who punched me in high school.
Yeah. Those frosted tips haunt my nightmares.
So I but like I've done some research and I'm like, Guy Fieri seems dope. We got some
Here, right?
big
He's
Guy
local.
Fieri fans in the audience. When I say fans, I mean one person. Several. Okay, you guys should hang out later.
We'll hook you up with Guy. I got his number.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. So I actually have a question to bounce off that one.
Okay.
Because your book kind of messed me up a lot. In a way that it made me kind of confront some like these pieces of what it means to be an internet famous person that I had been basically deferring my entire internet career. It's just been 10 years. What I wanted to ask, basically, or rather what I wanted to, the reason it kind of messed me up is part of like just basically confronting this idea that there's a reason why you want to hold on to your platform. Because my platform a lot of the time makes me really unhappy because I live in constant fear of alt-right hate mobs. They love me. I'm their favorite punching bag. And as a for instance. And then, yeah, there's only one for instance. And in the book, part of April's like sort of internal conflict is why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I feel like I'm adding value to the world and I'm doing a good thing? Or is it because I have this soul vacuum need for attention that can be filled by nothing because no attention is ever going to be enough? And I was like, that's not me. And then I was sort of like, well, maybe it is, or else why would I keep doing this?
Yeah.
And then I cried for about 3 days.
God damn it!
So much like, hey, made Lindsay Olds cry. So I guess my question is like, did you think that like this would kind of, or did you think that this would affect people that already have platforms differently than people who were,
Yeah, definitely.
One, I guess. It's like a tier 2, 3 borderline.
I definitely didn't necessarily think that it would be like a very bad day for them.
I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just more like, oh god.
Yeah.
I feel called out.
Yeah, I've gotten that feedback from a few people, and one thing that I don't want is for people who have audiences who have the sort of like internal strength and also the thought and also like the care about what they do to question it, like people who have those who are strong enough to question it. I don't want every one of those people to be like, well, I guess it's not valuable, and so I'm going to check out and leave it only to the people who don't have the strength to question it. And then you're in a world where the only people with that power are the people who are the worst at using it. So, but I do think that we should have the strength to question it and to be like, why and what is the point? And the thing that I really came out of this book thinking is like, fame is the worst part of it should not, if you are trying, you're trying to do things and fame is like a thing that you can't do it without, but that's like a negative side effect almost. And it's like, especially the fame, because what I realized that there's no difference in my mind now between fame and dehumanization. They're the same thing. You are asking people to remove your humanity and imagine you only as
The brand.
The brand. And generally the positive aspects of that brand. The power and the talent and the whatever it is. It's going to be different for every person. Like obviously it's different for Cardi B than it is for Neil deGrasse Tyson. But like whatever that.
But I think it's important, and I think that was part of why this resonated with me so much, was because I hadn't really seen that question confronted in such a direct way.
Yeah, and the scary thing is that if fame is the goal, then your goal is to have the world not imagine you as a human. And so your goal is dehumanization. And then if suddenly people start not treating you like a person, you're like, but I'm just a person. And it's like, but you spent a lot of time trying to get people to not think
Trick
that way.
people into thinking that, because I just did this video about working with affect. You only present a certain side of yourself, and that is the side that you are selling.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to kind of live a full experience in a public space.
Yeah, and it is also very hard to. It's just functionally difficult because.
And you should not do it. You should not try to do it.
Right. Yeah. Like Katy Perry, and be like, we're gonna live stream for 3 full days, and you're gonna see all the bathroom times too.
Do not do this.
Do not do this.
Don't do it. All right. So less hard-hitting questions. How does writing a book affect your perception of published works that you have already read?
It totally does, and I have this experience, and oftentimes I get it's just different, and it makes me sad that I lose something, and I can't stop doing it because this is what I do apparently. But you do lose something when whenever I read a book, I'm thinking about the technique and what they're doing to me, and I'm thinking about whether I can use the same tricks, and there's a lot, and that's the same with songwriting, and it's the same with video blogs and essay and journalism, and so it definitely it changes it, but in some ways it's a more rich experience, in some ways it's a less rich experience. It's just they're different, but one is not better than the other.
Let the record show that I'm really regretting wearing this dress. So I'm just like.
Do you want to do a stand-up interview?
No. Or I should just circle around you,
I'll just sit on the stool.
That would be even worse for me. asks, what was the most interesting place that you wrote? I assume he means geographically.
Like physical space I was in when I was writing.
Dubai.
I've never been to Dubai.
It was Dubai.
I've never been to Dubai. I don't know why you think I was in Dubai.
I assume it was Dubai.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very interesting. The Cheesecake Factory in Dubai. One of the biggest cheesecake factories in the world that has an aquarium in it.
There's a cheesecake factory with an aquarium.
It's got sharks. It's got sharks.
That's a very interesting place to write a book.
That's where I'm writing my book. Next week.
I did write a portion of the book. I was filming at a train station in Amsterdam. I just had the camera shooting down this big train station, and there were like lots of trains coming in and out, and I was doing a time lapse, and I just sat there for like 3 hours. And like the edge of there was a sign that was like Gerferdurgestang, and it said, so I assumed that meant like stop here. So I stopped there and wrote the book and did a time lapse of trains. I love
5, maybe even
trains.
10 words.
What?
5, maybe even 10 words.
Yeah.
You're just really distracted. Michelle B asked, did meeting President Obama influence your description of the president in the book?
I'm so sorry, you guys. Yes, it influenced the president some, but mostly it influenced the experience of meeting the president, which is very like intense. Because there's like a guy comes in the room and he looks like he could definitely kill you, because he could, and like get away with it. And like there are rules. They were like, do not run toward the president. And I was like, I wasn't planning on it, but I'm glad you told me. It's like, I don't want to see what happens if I did I was like, oh, I'm late for the thing. No! So that's good. And then they also, they said to me, you should address the president as Mr. President. And that's the only thing you should call him. And then he walked in and I shook his hand and I said, President Obama. It's fine, but they did say to do the one thing. And I didn't do that.
Then he just circled you, shaking his head.
Yeah, he was like, you sit down and we're gonna have a talk. I'd be happy.
I've heard of Obama's talks. They're not fun to be on the wrong end of.
Oh yeah?
No, I'm
Finger wagging?
just totally fucking.
Well,
This is a family show.
I would be happy to be scolded by Barack Obama. Wait. I don't take it back.
Alright, so Bailey asked a question I wanted to ask. Which Transformer do you imagine Carl looks most like?
Oh my god.
I'm gonna add in the which generation and which timeline.
Not everybody is aware that you're a Transformers scholar.
Yes, they are.
We have in the room possibly the world's preeminent Transformers scholar, and so I feel very outclassed.
I don't even have a page on the Transformers wiki.
Yes.
No, someone actually got on their grill the other day, and like the official wiki had to say, we only do official tie-ins. We don't do like glorified BNFs.
What's a BNF?
Is that like an old term? Do people not say BNF anymore? It means big name fan.
What?
Big name fan.
Big name fan.
It's like a fan
yeah,
fiction
that
term.
sounds like it's from the old days. You're a big name fan.
I'm in my 30s.
Man, I want to be a big name fan of some things.
So which is it Decepticon?
Oh, sorry, yeah. I don't know. The great thing about it,
See, obviously I was thinking something a little Starscreamy, but I'm just really biased in that
it seems pretty Starscreamy, to be honest with you.
way. So I could see why they would kind of be nervous.
But, situation.
Megatron?
I was several times thought about spending a lot more time describing what Carl looked like. And I decided not to, so that you can create what Carl is in there.
Well, here's the thing. You said a Transformer, and if you knew anything about Transformers, you would know how wide an array
There's lots of
visuals. You like saying you look like a mammal, like.
Not even. There are
That's
Transformers
very-
that don't even look like Transformers.
Exactly.
Shockwave?
There we go.
Okay, I did it.
Hey, creators! Alright. What can you, Desiree asks, can you tell us one thing that got cut from the book that is not too spoilery?
Everything that... So I wanted more bathroom time. Because characters in books never go to the bathroom. And so I was like, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna have the one story where the characters go to the bathroom a normal number of times. They're on the page for 100,000 words, and like if you divide your average day into bathroom and not bathroom time, we're gonna have that many pages devoted to bathroom time. And my editor was like, no. So there's no one pees in the whole book. I'm worried for them. It's hard. It turns out it's hard to make bathroom time interesting.
Was there a really gritty, like, toenail clipping scene that was also cut?
There's a little bit of bathroom, but I don't think that there's any peeing.
Like
There's
several
sometimes spent in
pages
bathroom.
dedicated to washing your face.
Yeah, and I
Getting ready
almost
for bed.
I almost made them pee during that scene just so there could be some peeing in the book. But they're in the bathroom together, and it didn't seem like April would actually pee in the bathroom.
Highly specific kink.
No, it's not a kink. I think that April is like, she's like, that would be too intimate for her, and so it didn't feel like it fit. But anyway.
Girls co-pee all the time.
But
In the same toilet even.
April's terrified of any intimacy. All right, we can talk about it later, you guys. I did have sensitivity readers. They didn't tell me. They didn't say that there's not enough girls peeing together.
Why was there no co-peeing scene?
Yeah, not
in
enough
several bathroom stalls where they talk about boys.
Yeah, guys, there's not enough co-peeing. That's what Gabby Dunn told me.
That's the technical term for it.
That's what my Skype called Gabby Dunn, and she was just like, they need to pee together more. It's the one thing you got wrong about women.
Mary asks, what was your process for creating April? Did you have a certain idea for who you wanted to tell the story when you started writing? Or did she change as the story did?
She changed, but only in the way that, so to me, she changed only in the way that you change as you get older. Like, she's the same person, but, and like, so full transparency, I created the character of April May for a different book. And then that book didn't work for a bunch, well, maybe it works, I don't know, but this book worked better for me, so I just I took her, and I was like, I'm gonna put you in this new story, it's gonna be worse.
Pretty cruel.
So that book was fun, this is less fun. It's gonna turn out not great. And so I put April in that story, so I sort of had a pretty strong idea of her already, which was weird. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know what the process of writing a book is supposed to be like. This is what it was like for me. And then she was 19 when I wrote her in the first drafts of this book, and then I aged her up because it didn't make any sense. Like, she just was too settled in who she was for a 19-year-old, for me anyway. And I also, like, it made more sense to me to have a protagonist who was out of college and dealing with that, which I think is a really interesting moment that doesn't get talked about in fiction a lot, for some reason. Got a lot of 24-year-olds in the audience. Apparently we do.
2-4.
Yeah, that's the one. Apparently that's where the Wapner's audience is.
Try not to get hospitalized.
Yeah, your knees aren't what they used to be. So she got older, and like, so as she got older, she did change, but like, I felt like only in like a maturing way.
So I have a question bouncing off that.
Yeah.
You wrote a book that's about the complex ethical question of using your platform responsibly, and also about alien robots. Did you set out to write a book?
That's what I say to everybody who asks.
Did the alien robots come first, or did the theming?
The alien robot came first. It's like this. Basically, I just wrote a Transformers story, but it was like, I'm Hank Green, so I was just like, but also, can we get some essays in this business?
I have some thoughts.
Yeah, I'd like to get across some ideas.
right, so one more. What is the big...
That people on the internet are their worst selves because they have the anonymity and they get to be who they would be if society wasn't watching, and because there's no repercussions. I do not think that that's the thing. I think the thing is the internet allows for us to see. We don't lose track of our own humanity. We lose track of the humanity of the people we're talking to, and that's what allows us to be cruel. Yeah, that became much more obvious.
I hear that. Actually, to continue to close out on a surprisingly somber note, it reminds me of an essay that Lori Pinney wrote a couple months ago, where she was just talking about just the way people kind of torture her for basically existing in a public space and doing the work that she does. And a lot of this is just sort of the fallacy of trying to convince people of your humanity. You know, you can't do that. They kind of have to come to that on their own, and the only thing you can do in the meantime is cope. So, alien robots are fun.
All right. Thank you for all those very good questions. I knew it would be a good conversation. That's why I had Lindsay come do it. Now, we're going to record a podcast. Hello and welcome to Dear Hank and Lindsay. It's a comedy podcast where two friends answer your questions, give you the news, advice, and bring you all the week's news from both Mars and AFC Wimbledon. Lindsay Ellis. I recently went to Jamaica and I got an apple pie, I got a slice of apple pie, and it was $2.50. And then I went to the Turks and Caicos and I got a slice of apple pie and it was $2. These are the pie rates of the Caribbean. The wrong stack. She was like, "This isn't right. This isn't right." All right.
You'll see why.
Do you want to kick us off, or should I go?
No, you should kick us off.
Okay. Well, this one's from Katie. It says, "Boop boop boop boop." It's long. I read it backstage, but now I don't remember what it's about. So I'm okay. Hey, Lindsay. I just wanted to say that I love your work and I think you're awesome. Hank, I also think you do great stuff. Lindsay's recent video about being an online creator and the ways that professional relationships can form out of that performance was really interesting. How do you both find yourselves navigating that? Sorry, Katie, it's not your fault, it's mine. Well, gosh. What do you do to... You read it to me, and it seemed like you were just able to read that.
So basically it's a question about how do we navigate these sort of emotional complexities of existing inside of, or basically existing inside of other people's parasocial relationships,
right.
Which ties into this idea of the dehumanization of fame, and what do you do to distance yourself from the possible damaging effects of that lifestyle?
What do you do to distance yourself?
So I should, because like I'm sure there's a lot of people who haven't seen it. So last month I did a video, Hank was actually in it quite a bit. And it was kind of hard to explain, but effectively it was about YouTube / my relationship to it, and how YouTubers inevitably, whether they realize it or not, construct a version of themselves which they are selling to an audience. And I used a couple of cake decorating shows as my examples.
There's a whole world of cake tube.
Yeah, so we fall down the cake rabbit hole. But effectively it was about that there's not a lot of discussion about how over time this constructed version of yourself, and only showing that to thousands and even eventually millions of people, can actually do damage in a way that we haven't really figured out how to cope with yet,
right.
Especially structurally.
Yeah, so a thing that I've been thinking about, I'd be interested to run this idea by you, is that it's not necessarily that causes the problem. So it's not necessarily like having an expectation from hundreds of thousands of people, or even from one person, like your mom, that is damaging.
What's damaging is when that expectation is different from what you feel like you can be. And for me, the joy and wonder of this process has been that I think because we started early, and so it was a lot less competitive, and so we could just sort of like do a different thing on Tuesday than we did on Friday, and because we've always made content that's like, it's good to, one of the main messages to put out there being like, imagine people complexly, hopefully means also that you're doing that to us. And 3, being like sort of society's idea of a default human and society's idea of the kind of human who should have power, which means straight white guys, all adds up to this being relatively easy for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, your life is easy and awesome.
I have a good audience.
I mean, I have a good audience too. It's the rest of the world that's kind of the problem.
Right. You gotta get those people to not watch.
Well, I mean, it's honestly, this is something that I've been struggling with a lot lately, and I don't have an answer to this because I kind of am of the opinion that like people, again, they dehumanize you. They politicize you existing in a public space if you are anything but a straight white man, cis man. And I think the only thing we can do is learn how to cope with that. But I don't know what that looks like yet. There's no system for it. There is like, if you are just a person that spends any amount of time online and gets any amount of like feedback, positive or negative, that can get overwhelming. And there's, we're just in the barely beginning stages of having any sort of empathy for that and discussing that. But I think in terms of what it looks like to cope, I don't know. I wish I did. I'd be a much more productive person if I knew.
Hit me.
All right.
Elon?
E-L-A-N?
Oh.
That kind of Elon. Dear Hank and Lindsay, I am a Green Brothers super fan, but my friends don't take you seriously.
Ooh.
How do I get them to like you?
Are they here? Because I'm pretty charismatic. I got good socks. No, Elon, you have to become the cool one, and then they'll respect you.
If you're cool, they'll be like, wow, the thing my cool friend likes must by transitive properties of coolness.
Yeah, so Lindsay, how do I be cool? Because I've been working on it, and it's been a while, and I have not yet succeeded.
I think puns make you really cool.
Puns, okay, good.
Dad jokes are a good in.
All right, Elon, so puns. You're gonna kill it. It's gonna be, everybody's gonna, yeah.
You should probably pull the socks up to your knees.
Higher socks.
Yeah.
Could I get a leather jacket? Could I do that? Could I pull
you should just pull a Fawn's look, just kind of like dye your hair and just do,
Yeah.
all of those things at the same time. You'll be the cool, you'll be like Steve Buscemi and like
hello,
30
fellow kids.
How do you do, fellow kids? So cool.
You gotta go to the thrift stores and cool hunt.
Yeah.
Gotta search for the new trends.
Pull it up.
I don't know how to convince people that I'm good. But thank you for trying. It's very nice. Hey, Annie has a question. Dear Hank and Lindsay, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Chandelier. I'm actually a pretty good singer.
Yeah, that would not. Yeah, I feel like you started maybe not in the, like that was maybe a little couple half steps above the original key. Is that really the key? Yeah. Holy moly.
I just know.
I like to do Kesha songs. Any Kesha songs?
I like praying.
Yeah.
That's when I want to make the room feel
it's
bad.
so good. It's so good.
I dedicate it to Harvey Weinstein.
I have done. Yeah. I don't know. I tend to go with like pop hits. It's yeah.
I feel like these are really interesting reflections of our personalities.
Yeah.
I like the dark songs about addiction and sexual abuse.
And I'm like, yeah, can we do TikTok? Can we do Katy Perry's Roar?
I do like Macklemore sometimes.
Oh yeah, I could. Oh, Downtown. Ooh,
Yeah.
God, that song is so. It's like the best song in the last 10 years. Downtown.
It ruined his career. All right,
That's so weird. He made this beautiful, perfect song, and everyone was like, "That's too weird."
yeah.
Sing to me about thrift shops, not about scooters.
I 100% agree. Okay, so Natalie says, my dog looks like this.
Okay.
Should I name her Stripey?
That's not stripes and spots.
That one's out. Sir Charles III,
Sir Charles III.
because she had 2 previous Charlies.
Oh.
Or Newt.
I feel like you gotta name it Newt.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's got spots. Newts have spots, right?
Newts have spots.
That's how it works.
Newt Scamander is very good character.
A lot of Newt Scamander fans.
Yeah.
It's a Newt crowd. Alright, so Newt. The answer is Newt.
Sarah would like to know, dear Hank and Lindsay, how do you shorten the word casual? This is a known thing, right?
Casual. I think it's more how to spell it.
Oh, how to spell it. It says how do you shorten the word casual? How do you spell the word? How do you spell the word cash?
Cash.
Is the question.
I go with C-A-J-J.
C-H-H-A?
C-A-J-J.
C-A-J-J.
That letter that your son has trouble with, Jay.
C-H-A-J.
C-A.
C-A.
C is in cat, A is in apple, J is in Jerry, J is in Jerry. Cash.
Caj. Nah. That's like Kaj. It's like the Kaj Mahal.
Okay, so should we throw an H in there?
Kaj is C.
A-C-H?
C-A. Blah, blah, blah. I love you, kiddo. Cash. C-A-G.
Z-H.
G-G-G. E.
That's Cage. That's like a wrestler name.
H-G-G-G-E.
There.
Cash.
We figured it out. Alright, I assume this is Gabby. What song is stuck in your head at the moment? I'm not gonna do it or I'll do the whole thing. Do it.
You made this happen. For like 10 years and then suddenly they juggle 8 balls and you're like, what? Where did you have that one? And I'm also mad because I have to go to sleep very early tonight and not go karaoke with you. So mad. James wants to know, is there a limit to how big a giant robot can be?
Well, as you may know from Transformers 5 The Last Night.
Who's seen Transformers 5 The Last Night in the audience? 2 people. 3?
Did very well in China.
Wow. I think we don't have the target demographic.
Should I not spoil it then?
I think you're safe.
Well, I could be misremembering this. I've seen it 3 times. Because that's the thing, like part of my job is watching Transformers movies, but it's impossible to remember what happens in these movies. And I made an entire episode about why it's like impossible to remember what happens in these movies. But it turns out that Earth is Unicron, He never transforms because then there wouldn't be no Earth no more.
Yeah.
So, at
The
least
outside would be on the inside. That'd be bad. I want to stay on the outside.
we'd have no atmosphere; it'd just be gone.
Yeah.
So
So the Earth is a transformer.
so at least Earth size. I don't know if there's an upper limit.
So you're saying that Carl could be just the Earth in a samurai?
That was my theory. He was just like popping little sub-Carls out, like just to mess with the humans.
Yeah.
Like pimples.
Well,
That's where they came from. They're actually pimples. My head cannon.
yeah. And
Don't police my head cannon, Hank.
No, it's fine. I like it. Hey, I'm looking for plot twists. So, Carl being just the Earth is great.
That's the sequel. You're welcome.
Okay, I think we can do one more question, maybe. Maybe two.
Oh, here's one that I
Got
like.
an important one.
What should I name my fist?
What should I name my fist? I feel super inadequate that I've never named my fists. Also, does one fist have a name already, or are you just naming one at a time?
Maybe she'll guess the one.
Which fist am I naming? What should I name my fist? Because I want to tell people what they're eating. Knuckle sandwiches.
You wouldn't want to have a run-in with Ronald.
Yeah, what's the best thing that you're about to get in a bar fight and you're like, I'm going to introduce you to Charles Bronson, and they're like, wait, what? And you're like,
So
and then you're like, why am I in a bar fight? Why am I some kind of douche? I've almost been in so many bar fights.
Almost?
Turns out that it's really easy to not be in a bar fight. All you have to do is say, I'm sorry. And they're like, what? And you're like, I'm so sorry that this has gone how it's gone. And like, I thought that we could be friends, but we obviously can't. And like, I
they just wander away because you're still talking.
Like I
You go through a hard
really
time.
thought that this, I don't really understand where this all went wrong, but I do submit to your alpha male dominance. And I just wanted you to know that like you are a much bigger and stronger man than me. And then I just turn around and I just am like,
Oh, no, I
but don't wiggle your butt at
Highly
men in
specific.
bars. That's definitely what
Did you,
What's this? What? What? Oh, what's this one? Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask me that question.
No, I have a couple of Hank stories.
Okay.
I mean, this is kind of because we have not known each other for that long, but how did you get to be this amazingly awesome? Asks Patrick.
Oh, yeah. People on this side are like more fans of me than people on this side. That's a lot to just throw out, like, to choose that question. I agree with you.
Well, I mean, it's not are you, it's like how did you get here? What was your amazingly awesome, I mean, that is your company.
What is, like,
Don't
what I
forget
thought-
to be, so how did you get to this place?
I like to think I had a real good mom and dad. They're great, and I think that helps a lot. Yeah. They were all, I remember my mom once saying to me, hey, what are your values? And I was like, 8? And I was like, boy, what? And like we talked about my values. Like we went and we wrote down what was important and how I would make decisions and like good knowledge.
So, I don't know why you are the way you are, because I actually have not known you for that long. But, so I have a very short, because we actually talked about this very briefly on the Internet Creators Guild podcast a couple weeks ago. Because this is a very short Hank is Awesome story, I promise.
I'm settling.
And it's relevant.
You can make it as long as you want.
Okay. Hunker down. Well, I mean, it's relevant because it's very internet culture. So, like a few weeks ago, I was kind of the target of an alt-right hate mob. That it's like I want to laugh about it, but it got dirty because it was about my job at PBS. And specifically it was about anti-white racism, which like I think of that scene in Arrested Development where white power Bill stabs Job and he's like, but I'm white. And so it was like really humiliating. I had to like have all these calls with like, you know, it went all the way to the upper echelons of PBS and I was just like so miserable, and it was like, that was one of those like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this with my life? Nothing is worth this weeks. And Hank noticed what was happening, and he put out this just one tweet that was just like, this is a Lindsay Ellis positivity tweet. And there were a lot of responses to that tweet. And I did not know at the time that, you know, the higher ups at PBS were watching. But, and this was something I didn't really even realize until a few days ago. This is not the first time this has happened to me, you know, woman on the internet, shock. And every single, like, no one who has ever been in a position of power equal to or greater than mine has ever stood up for me whenever that's happened, ever, except you. It almost feels like sort of a sad baseline, right? Like that this very, very basic.
Great, but like.
Because I've been doing this for a really long time, and it almost kind of made me angry. Because like when Gamergate was happening, and I was working for another company that I do not talk about anymore, but that like so many of us were getting like hell abuse, like getting doxxed, and they didn't say anything. And on the one hand, I do think that really speaks to your character, but on the other hand, I think it also kind of shows that like whenever something like that happens, there is this sort of intrinsic, you know, I gotta distance myself from this toxicity, lest I attract it myself.
Yeah, I mean, when you're watching someone go through that, often, like, your first thought is like, this looks so terrible, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. Your second thought is like, this looks so terrible, I'm just, like, how do I prevent that from happening to me? And yeah, and you don't want to wade into it. But like, it wasn't hard to wade into that one because one, everybody freaking loves you. And the stuff that you do is objectively good in quality and for the world. And also because like it was so blatantly obvious what they were doing that nobody even on their side thought that they were acting in good faith. Like everybody knew that they were acting in bad faith.
But they didn't care.
But I don't think, but when you're like a 65-year-old executive at PBS, you don't know what's going on, and you are aware that the internet is a frickin' minefield, and that people have lost their jobs for things they tweeted a long time ago that were bad jokes.
Yeah, and I think the way you went about it, like it was such a small thing, but it was like, you didn't go after these people. You tried to combat it by balancing it with positivity.
Like the people who replied to that tweet had no idea this was even happening to you, because it was so insular to the right wing. And like Chuck Woolery was tweeting.
Yeah, I got
Chuck
mainstream,
Woolery.
like, PBS host condemns white genocide, and it was like...
Do you guys know who Chuck Woolery is?
Lingo.
Raise your hand if you know who Chuck Woolery is.
More people than saw Transformers 5. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm officially pretty old. Apparently, I thought that Chuck
I knew
Woolery
who he
was a
was,
big.
I was horrified.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
He's a game show host, and he's turned out to be.
Love Connection and Lingo.
Yeah, he hosted Love Connection, and apparently also Lingo.
now he writes for right-wing.
Yeah, now he's a right-wing pundit somehow, because he was a game show host. So anybody who has views, who has even a little bit of credibility, we'll take them.
But I also think that, again, obviously, like, you know, I assume all you guys will read the book. Like, Hank is one of the only people I know who spends even the remotest amount of time thinking about the ethics of having a platform and how to make other people think in that way. So, you are awesome. Thanks.
All right. We're gonna go get some props, and we'll be right back. pursuit car.
Oh.
You're gonna read. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Erin.
Hi. Where are you from?
I'm from Oregon.
Oh.
What?
You know, do you live here though?
Yeah,
Where do you live?
Stanford.
You go to school?
Yeah.
That's like the hardest thing was ever to get someone to tell me that they went to school in Stanford.
Time for highly specific kinks.
It's a metaphor.
It's a highly specific kink. Just my phrase of the night, just roll with it.
So, Lindsay, come this way. And then turn this way. I promise I'm not going to push you off the stage. We're good.
That's exactly what someone who's not about to push me. Thanks for saying all those nice things.
Okay, so Lindsay and I have inflatable baseball bats, and we're standing near each other. And we're gonna. I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
I'm Erin.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
And Erin's gonna ask us Trivial Pursuit questions, and then if we get it wrong, we're gonna hit the person with a baseball bat when they get it wrong. So we're gonna go back and forth, and Lindsay's gonna go first so that I get the sports question, which is my punishment for doing this. So that's the game. It's not that complicated. Okay.
Okay. Which word derives from an island believed by ancient Romans to be the chimney of their god of fire?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Can you repeat that? I thought this was going to be a sports question, so I tuned out.
Which word derives from an island believed by ancient Romans to be the chimney of their god of fire?
Which island?
Which word derived from an island?
Volcano?
Yes!
That's good. Good job. High quality answer. Now I'm scared. What are you doing? Right here. I'm the same place.
I suffer from debilitating PTSD.
Well, maybe we should have talked about that before.
No, I'm kidding.
Next.
Hit me, dude.
Okay. Which HBO World War II miniseries stars a bunch of Brits as American soldiers in the U.S. Army's Easy Company?
Oh, I know this
A
one.
bunch of Brits in a bunch of Brits who are. Wait, I'm confused.
HBO World War II miniseries
Yeah.
that stars a bunch of British actors as American soldiers in the U.S. Army's Easy Company.
I have no idea what that is.
Do I
at
get
all.
points for knowing it?
No,
Yeah,
you don't.
if you do.
No, you don't get. Well, here's the advantage
Can
you
I
get. If you know the answer and I say it wrong, you get to hit me before she tells you the right answer.
Okay.
So it can be immediate punishment. And I'm going to say Forrest Gump.
It's Band of Brothers.
It's Band of
I
Brothers.
haven't seen it. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Is it good? Okay, that sounds sad.
Tom Hardy's in it.
Tom Hardy? Oh, he seems like a nice man. I don't know anything about him. I know
Really,
more
really likes-
about Guy Fieri.
No, the internet loves Tom Hardy because he loves dogs, and there's just like a lot of dog gifs. It's a thing. If
Okay.
you like dogs, you know that, but whatever.
I actually don't like dogs that much. Okay, what happened?
It was really funny.
Okay, you're still there. All right, let's answer your question.
It stormed off.
What is the practice of drawing electoral district lines for political party gain called?
Gerrymandering.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is
This is a topical.
yeah.
In 1919, a circle of literary wits that included Dorothy Parker met at a New York
Oh, God.
hotel and became began a famous meetup that became known as what?
Dorothy Parker's Friends and Things. I don't know. Is that a thing? Does anybody know that?
I think I know it, but
Some people know, but you're dorks.
I'm not.
What is the answer, Lindsay?
I don't know if I know it, so I'm gonna let her.
Okay.
Now I'm embarrassed that I admitted I went to Stanford. I don't know how to pronounce this word. Yes!
Oh, Algonquin.
Bless you. That was word round table.
Is that your hit? That was pathetic. I'm right here. You're being very nice. That's not how.
I would have been wrong, so that's why I was.
Okay. That's not how I'm gonna deal with it. If you ever get one wrong.
What do the letters in HTML stand for?
Ooh.
I did this in 2002.
What?
I don't remember.
What are the words? What are the words? Just say the first one so I can hit you. Everything starts with H.
Hit me, total loser.
That was really good. Hypertext markup language. Boom.
Got it. Your final question. Which mixed surface bike race forces riders to carry their bikes and run over barriers?
A sport with bikes that they have to carry their bikes. Because sometimes there's places where you can't bike.
Precisely.
So it's like, you got a bike, but now it's not useful. But you'll need it later. So bring her with you. Over what I am now imagining as just concrete hurdles. Just Jersey barriers. Okay, it's called bike hurdles.
Sure. Lindsay?
I was gonna go with triathlon.
It's called cyclocross.
Cyclocross!
That's a transformer. It turns into a train. It's weird. Yes.
Cyclocross is actually a transformer
Yes,
that turns into a train?
Yeah, and
Turning into a train is like totally useless. You can only go one place.
It turns into a train and a crucifix. It's the weirdest thing. That was only in one series in like 1992.
We finished the game a while ago.
Yeah.
So you can turn
Did you know
into-
that gullible is not the dictionary?
What's happened? Just take your mind.
No, I was enjoying it.
It's way easier to be in
Yeah.
front of a crowd when you don't know they're there.
Yeah, no, I was like, actually,
Doing
I
all my
really
shows
like
like this now.
I really like this highly specific kink.
It's surprisingly relaxing. These silky pink masks I got at a drugstore in New York City. They're very soft.
Was it a drugstore kink?
What's happened? They had a lot of things.
I know, I've been to that store.
Eric, thank you very much. That was the worst thing I could have done. I'm sorry. Thank you, Lindsay. It was a pleasure to have you. Did she just like giggle? She was serious, she was like, So, what on earth were we doing tonight? What time is it? 8:33. I'm not good at being on time. I already know what time it is, you guys. You can't lie to me. I trust the first person, not you liars. Some people have to take their babies home. Yeah, see? Some people have to get up at 6:30 in the morning to fly to Washington. I'll be fine. So, I was attempting this evening to do a thing. But here it is. You could not tell because it was poorly executed. I thought that I could try and create a stage show that was a microcosm of the social internet. Let me explain. So we started off with some music, some of which got popular because of or was created by the social internet. We also had viral videos. We had conversations and even some arguments. We also had a two-way conversation where the things that the people in the, that sort of everybody was involved in the show. And also, we had blindfolded people forced to hold hands. Oh, we didn't hold hands in this show. Usually we do, but we didn't have laugh mics. We had blindfolded people hitting each other with baseball bats for being wrong about things that might not matter, which is Twitter. Thanks. But there is one very big way in which this will never be like the internet. We can all see each other. I can see you can see me, you can see the person next to you. If you crane your neck, you can probably see some other people that you don't know. You can give a hug to the person next to you. That's very sweet, you guys. And everybody go. If you got somebody you want to hug, you can go ahead and hug them. That's nice. I like that part of the show. That's new. It's renovation. Get hugs. You don't have to though. Definitely ask permission first. Santa Cruz, pretty huggy place. Seems like it's like. I walked around your city a little bit. I got a vibe that was like, a little bougie, but also a little crunchy at the same time. I didn't know you could be both of those things. But here it is. Everybody's trying to get me to drink kombucha. I just want a water, thanks. Just dead, nothing alive, water. Just one molecule, thank you very much. I'll take that one. Anyway, I don't know why I just don't like kombucha. Am I missing? I don't know, what I'm worried about is that I'm missing like some great health benefit that everybody's very excited about, and I could be having like very, very good boobs, but I just refuse to. Yeah, I've got Metamucil for that. It's tried and true. You know, we're doing it for 100. I'm pretty sure kombucha is older than Metamucil, but whatever. I honestly couldn't tell you. It seems that way from the marketing. The branding seems very trying to make me think that it's old. From which I assume that it's old. What were we talking about? The internet. So, so we can all see each other. And also we all sort of did the same thing. I kept our attention on one thing for like an hour and a half already, and I never do that anymore. So that's great. I love that about this, that I just do this one thing, and I can't look at Twitter because you're looking at me. So the world could have blown up outside of the walls, and we wouldn't know, except that probably a few of you checked Twitter just to make sure that nothing fell apart. Did you? No? Okay, I just asking the tech back here. God, you were focused on the show. Good, thanks. So a round of applause for all the people making the show work. We all have this experience together. And my friend George Watsky once said to me a thing that is very obvious, but is also like pretty profound and has affected the way I think about stuff. That when there's a gathering of people like this is the one gathering that we will ever have. We will never come together again as this group of people. It just is logistically too difficult to do. And so this is our one go of it, and it's been pretty good. But I will also say that turns out to be true of Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. At any given instant, there's like a unique and finite group of people in those spaces. And I don't imagine it that way. I find it impossible to imagine it that way. I don't see it as a group of people in a room having conversations and making each other laugh and changing culture and creating things and arguing with each other, I see it in these two, both false, but somehow mutually contradictory ways. One, I see it as an infinite number of people, that somehow like everybody in the universe is here, which is not true. It's not even a large portion of the, like it's not even a significant, or it is a significant portion, but it's not even a majority portion of humans on these platforms. And then I also see it as no people, that there's nobody in those spaces, that the things that I'm consuming aren't like, I don't see it as coming from a person. I see it as, in this moment of cognitive immersion when I'm in the place, I see it as this unit of culture, this thought that has separated itself from a person and now has a life of thinking of the person in their physical space as they compose that tweet, the way that I imagine myself and know that I sit there on the toilet or in at a meeting when maybe I should be paying attention to work, or at my home when maybe I should be paying attention to my family as I compose these thoughts. And I've been wondering if that removal of humanity from units of culture is like a problem with these platforms that needs to be fixed, or if it turns out that it's the only reason why they work. And like, is it a bug or is it a feature? Because I think I've decided that it's a feature. It's like the thing they're selling us. I think that if we imagined the room as a room, we would all be orders of magnitude more careful with the things that we say and with each other. And that would be a barrier to creation. It would be another step between having a thought and tweeting a thought. And these platforms, Facebook and Twitter specifically, really want to lower the barrier of creation, not just in terms of technology, which I'm all in favor for. I'm so glad that more people have the ability to create content, to distribute content, to reach people, to have their voices heard when they never could be heard before. But to also decrease the cognitive barriers to creation, to have the space between having a thought and tweeting a thought be so vanishingly small that it basically doesn't exist. To have that little box be asking me what's happening, and for me to always be sort of looking for a thing to say to it, so that I will get that feedback that my brain craves. And so I think that sometimes I end up creating when I should just be having a thought, and that I now have a problem where I don't even know for sure that I've had a thought if I haven't tweeted it and gotten some feedback on it. And I think that I think that like they want to lower that cognitive barrier to creation so much that like maybe we should be having a conversation with people in real life, or just thinking about a thing on our own rather than making a thing to share with the 50 people who follow you, but then also the hundreds of millions of people who might see it if it gets amplified. So I wrote this book because I had some things that I was afraid of, and some things that I felt like I knew, and that I really wanted to share, that I didn't feel like I could get across without April's help. So for the first 10 years of me being on the internet, I believed pretty unquestioningly in its power to do good, and I really wasn't responsive to ideas about the bad that it might do, to the point where like when people brought up concerns, I got pretty defensive, because I had tied a lot of my identity to the social internet. And then when I started to internalize those concerns and see them as legitimate and start to worry myself, that really hit me in the self-worth. Because I had tied so much of my identity to it, because I'd spent so much time talking about the good that it would, or the good that it could and would do. I'd been thinking, like I'd been bringing people into the space, I'd been promoting it, and if that whole thing was like a bad, then I'd like been subjecting good people to a bad, and that was something that was really scary and that I didn't want to look directly at. At the same time, I was also seeing some of my friends be negatively impacted by fame. They burned out because society was asking so much of them, or they got suspicious of other people and isolated themselves because they didn't know whether people liked them or had any like actual affinity for them or just wanted things from them. I'd watch people use their fame in bad ways to like take their power and get things that they should have been not using their power to get. And I also looked at my own life with its fair share of 80-hour work weeks, and I started to wonder if like the internet wasn't just bad for culture, maybe it was bad for like me as a human being. And that was, I think, the kind of overreaction that we are sometimes prone to, where like my reaction to the thought, what if the internet isn't all good, was, oh my god, the internet is all bad. And I think that overcorrection can be helpful in analyzing this, but I don't think that it's accurate. I don't think it's representative of reality. I don't think that's where we are. But I also think that I needed like a book's worth of time to process that. And I still need more time to continue processing that, which is good news for anybody who wants a sequel to the book. Hopefully the people willing are people who've actually read it already.
Yeah.
To you I say, you got a book tonight. How did you do that? Yeah. You got 2 books. Thank you. That is above and beyond. So thank you for doing that. Anybody who's listened to the audiobook, it's so good. I'm so happy. She's so wonderful. What was I talking about? I think that we have a problem as a culture, and I think that problem is the internet, but I think it is also not the internet. We have a tool that we don't know how to use. Lindsay and I were just talking about this. That like we don't know all of the systems for how to make this work yet. The invention of the printing press and the subsequent revolution in communication it caused contributed to multiple wars. Lots of people died. Martin Luther didn't nail his complaints to one church door. He had them printed and spread across Europe, sometimes illicitly and illegally, and those words fundamentally changed human history. That couldn't have happened without the printing press, but that's not something Gutenberg thought he was doing. He was just a crazy alchemist with some weird ideas, and we did a history of science episode about it. It's really weird and good. I had no idea. I don't think that anybody realized that there was like a communications revolution going on that was going to change people. It's been a long show, apparently. Stop going on about Gutenberg. I don't think that anybody knew that there was a communications revolution going on because there hadn't been a communications revolution since the invention of the written word. And it took a long time to go from the printing press to the invention of journalistic ethics. Like, it takes time to establish these norms and these taboos and the systems that allow us to do this, like to handle new technologies well and to incorporate them into our culture. We can do that. We're very adaptable as a species and as individuals and as cultures, but it takes time. And I think that we are now in a world that has a technology that we don't have all the correct systems and norms for, and that's a dangerous moment. And I think success in this moment relies on people understanding that the internet isn't something that's happening to us, it's something we're doing. The internet is just people. Without people, it's a bunch of hard drives in a warehouse. So this work has to be done like it's like person work, like one person at a time, one community at a time. But it begins by realizing that the internet is a place, and that as it is a place where we spend time, we have to be citizens of that space. And in the same way that this town and this state and this country are nothing but people, the internet is nothing but people. And so we have to be citizens of that space. And for me, a really good step in that process has been being more of a citizen of the physical spaces that I inhabit, where there are a lot of systems to allow for that. There's places where you can volunteer, there's places where you can get involved doing nonprofit work, but also in politics, caring about what's happening in our local communities, and also just like spending time in our neighborhoods and understanding the problems that our neighbors have. And also to vote in every opportunity that I get. I'm sure a lot of us are feeling a lot today. And then I can apply that civic perspective, of course not in all the same ways, but that perspective can be in all of the non-physical spaces that I inhabit. I think that we can really convince ourselves sometimes that like the world that we are in right now is sort of over and done and baked and it's all settled. But the internet in particular is very, very new. This is like the first, I feel like we're still in the first 2 decades of this, and that is a very, as far as human culture adaptation goes, that's very, very early, and I think that there's a lot of change still to come, and who decides what that change looks like is ultimately the people in that space, meaning that it's us. And a lot of the time, we won't know that we're doing that change, but I think that the change will be good if we are aware that it is possible and we are also aware that we want certain kinds of outcomes. So basically, in closing, I would like to say that the internet is good and it is also bad, and while my book dives into some parts that you might think, oh, that's bad, it's also about how amazing this moment in history is and how lucky we are to be in it as opposed to a lot of others. So I wanted to make a silly evening with some friends celebrating that, and that's that. The internet is good and also bad, and you, it seems to me, are also very, very good. So thank you very much. I'm going to sing one song. Change it up a little bit because my throat hurts. So we're just gonna sing one song, and before I do that, I'm just gonna say thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to the people who run this beautiful space. Thank you to Bookshop Santa Cruz. Communities are so lucky when they have great, vital, vibrant, big bookstores, and that's such a good one. And I'm jealous. I wanted to leave you all with a song that's one of my brother's favorite songs. He introduced me to this band and this song, and I'm feeling it today, so I wanted to hit you with it. It's about, I guess it's about this year. Underneath the hood, crashing and kicking, listen to the engine whine. And I am gonna make it through this year if it kills me. Yes, I am gonna make it through this year if it kills me. I played video games in a drunken haze. I was 17 years young. Hurt my knuckles punching the machines. Scotch rich on my tongue. Then Kathy showed up and we hung out, trading sweets from the bottle, all bitter and clean, locking eyes, holding hands, twin high maintenance machines. And I'm gonna make it through this year if it kills me. Yes, I am gonna make it through this year if it kills me. I can feel the alcohol inside of me hum. Picture the look on my stepfather's face